And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Roll for hero.
Heyo and hello everybody, it's me, your great uncle, and welcome to Roll for Hero, a segment of our channels where we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we will be drawing today. And of course, since it is going to be towards the end of this spooky season, which weirdly enough here in Florida it's not been that spooky. I have not seen a singular Halloween decoration as of whatever. It is going to be the fun first Halloween special here on Roll for Hero, and of course with an amazing special guest because I totally know how to do directions here, T.S. Luther, the fantastic writer of a vast variety of comics, and I am just excited. You guys know how much I love Roll for Hero. So for those of you that are watching, grab some dice, grab a pencil, paper, tablet, whatever it is that you're going to be drawing or creating your awesome character rendition of whatever on, and let's get to the fun excitement of Roll for Hero. And also, if you happen to have some amazing artworks or pieces of art that you would love to show off from this show, please make sure to utilize the hashtag Roll4Hero. That's ROLL, the number 4, and HERO. Use it on all variations of social media platforms, so then that way we can get a good, awesome look and show it off here on the channel. And that is my end.
All in one breath, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing.
Yeah, when your father is part of a band, it always works out.
You learn that breath control quickly and easily.
Oh,
as
yeah,
always,
it's gonna be a lot.
I'm loving Uncle Fish, and we have special guest T.S. Luther. Tell everybody about yourself, T.S.
Hi, I'm T.S. and I write comics. I write comic books like Alice Lost in Wonderland from Mr. Fish Comics, Hellion and Bash, Tokyo Fire, both for Professional Entropy, and my newest book, The Digger, is available from Invader Comics. You can pre-order it at your local comic book shop today, and I would really appreciate it if you did it. Please, thank you.
Absolutely. Go to your local comic shop, ask for The Digger. It's like, what if Indiana Jones was hunting short round? It is, it's such a cool idea, man. I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on it, man.
It's so real dangerous, too, comparing your book to Indiana Jones. Like, that's a real sketchy thing that I did, and I didn't really think about it until recently, where I'm like, I really hope you like it, because if you don't, if you go in with those types of expectations, oh, man. Didn't really think about that.
But I know that TS over here has yet to utilize the Hellion art that I have so graciously gifted you, that you should be making prints of and giving them out for those, sales on Hellion and Bash. Good sir. I don't care if I don't get paid for those. Those are still, that's a good art piece. I'm not gonna lie. Those are some, that drawing of Hellion was one of my favorite ones I've done, and I'm ashamed that you have not gifted it to people. You are robbing them of experience,
okay,
sir.
So I have two things. Number one, I totally plan on gifting it to people. Number two, we, like Professional Entropy, the publisher that I work for and I own a piece of, we can't afford to do Hellion and Bash number 3 yet. We got to sell all of it, issues 1 and 2 first, so I can sell those to people. But I have something special for you, is because when we're going to Motor City Comic Con in 2 weeks, November 14th through the 16th, come and say hi to me. I'm selling a bunch of books, and I am selling some prints of Hellion and Bash 1 and 2's artwork, including yours. So if you come, you can buy a special little art print of that one, and all the proceeds go to getting I don't know, what do you need? Money? You need fish? What do you need on deck? Artists,
happiness.
Well, I can't pay you in happiness. I don't know how to get that. If I figure that out, then I wouldn't need to make comic books. But I think what we can do is get you a sweet infusion of like $15. I think I can swing that, because I'm making tens of dollars over there, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tens and tens of dollars.
Dude, after the thousands of dollars we spent on getting a booth, I could probably swing $10 to $25.
You're welcome. Yeah. I hope you come out of there with so much money you need help holding your pants up, just because your pockets are so full of dough. That's what I hope. I hope you sell out of absolutely everything at the show, man.
I appreciate it. Are you going to be able to get me some Alice stuff before then? Do you think that's going to be able to happen?
Oh, yeah, man. I can absolutely put you a box in the mail, like, Well, I guess it won't go out till tomorrow, but I can put it out for sure and get it sent out to you.
Awesome. I knew you were waiting for Alice number 3, but I've seen you've been doing Roll for Hero instead of
person
finishing
on
that.
the colors has been taking their time. I got, well, but nobody else knows. I got 2 of the pages colored this morning, and amongst doing everything else, I had to finish a cover for Ed Davis for his new book, Floaters. I had to knock out a couple of covers this weekend for people that had been waiting on it. And so it was cool. We got somebody. Let's see. Oh, how much for Uncle E's? We might want to buy it.
Well, hey, look, he is the one who's setting the price. Honestly, I would love to. Once we start getting to the fun drawing process, I'll show you all my Hellion art, because that was one of my favorite pieces that I've done thus far. In general, it was one of the best pieces that I really, really enjoyed putting together. But speaking of drawing and doing all of that fun activity-based related stuff and whatnot, this is a show about we take dice and we create something out of them. So, Mr. Fish, it's our Halloween special. What is it that we're going to be doing today?
I figured, because we didn't know you were. Wait, my camera's back. We didn't know you were going to be able to make it until last minute. So literally. I was planning on asking the chat to start suggesting monsters for me to pick from to draw, and maybe suggesting an idea for a setting to draw them in. Like, we were discussing different movie themes, like noir movies or horror movies or crime dramas or rom-coms, things like that, to set said monster in. Like, what would Frankenstein be like as a suburban dad in a comedy? Or, what would Gilman from the Black Lagoon be like as a mobster? Or
actually, that's me.
So that's what I was thinking. So let's hear in the comments from everybody what monster they would like to see us draw, and maybe what genre they'd like to see us stick them in. I mean, it could be sci-fi, it could be kids cartoon. I'm open for anything. Y'all know the weirder, the more interesting.
Let's also promise ourselves that we're not going to be so hung up on the dopamine rush of like, oh no, this is such a good idea, we need to start writing this now. Because trust me, TS, I'm telling you this now, if you've ever hopped on one of these, or if you ever saw the videos once they're done recorded and whatnot, I'm telling you this now, the ideas that
so many
they are, and like
the chat comes up with so many ideas that would be awesome books that I'm like, oh man, I can't quit thinking about that one idea, and oh, you could do this and you could do that with it. Oh, it just keeps going and keeps going. It would be really easy to just keep chasing the dopamine around in circles, as you've seen me do before. But I'm trying to learn from the man, T.S. Luther, to stay focused and,
You gotta finish the books, guys. I love that you always come out of here with awesome ideas to complete books. You gotta finish the ones that are already on your plate, though. It's like I tell my kids, like, you can have dessert after you eat dinner. You gotta finish eating what we got.
This is true.
By the way, Doggone Comics, I can see the chat now, and you do, in fact, have to call me Dragon. You nailed it. I will also accept Nighthawk. That is also fair.
We love it. We love it. Also, Future Werewolf. See Noir Dracula as a PI in the Rainy City. Okay, Mothman as the Mothman cryptid. We got Cyberpunk. It's like, are we doing the Monster Mash up?
Yeah, we are, and we're taking suggestions of monsters, and we're taking suggestions for settings and themes to put them in. Okay. Like we had suggested rom-coms or whatever, any kind of like movie genre, story genre that you can think of that would make it interesting. Like, like Cyberpunk cyborg werewolf is a cool idea.
That's actually awesome.
Noir Dracula PI in a rainy city is a great idea. What's up, J-Man? Good to see you, man.
Okay, I feel like the first thing that we need to establish first is hold on, let's see. We got Caddy Rooston saying the only monster in my head at the moment is one I've just been writing about, but I don't know if he counts. I will always suggest werewolves, though. I mean, werewolves are always a pretty good option. I feel like werewolves have been kind of invading the chat a little bit.
Franken werewolf and a cyberpunk said, okay, now Franken werewolf. Okay, that's all right, Deadpool. Settle down. You can't be bringing the heat like that, man. That's a
A
I think we
ninja
might be
demon?
done. That might be the end for me. I think I might have to do a Franken werewolf in a cyberpunk setting, a ninja demon. Oh, that's a good one.
And we got
Now,
Mr.
see,
Hot.
these are the guys that don't get suggested very much, like Mr. Hyde and Invisible Man. Oh man,
Warzone.
oh man,
Ooh.
just think like if you took it and then you changed into the Invisible Man with like Dr. Jekyll's personality or Hyde's personality, whichever. Yeah, it's Dr. Jekyll,
Yes,
Mr.
no,
Hyde.
it's Mr. Hyde would then be the Invisible Man. Ooh, so it's like whenever
Oh,
he
I
goes
already finished my Invisible Man sketch. It's all already done. So,
Done!
dang it! All right,
Covered done and everything. It's the Invisible Man in a snowstorm fighting a polar bear.
you're welcome.
oh man, that's insanity. Then we have Detective Demon, Noir, sort of like Damien Darkblood. Then we have the only monster I'm thinking of is a Body Snatcher.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like Spider-Man Noir, yes. So okay, so I feel like so what is it that we're definitively going here? Because there's like Frankenstein's monster, there's the werewolf. So we got one of like because I feel like those are the top two right there in my opinion that I'm kind of seeing because werewolf is heavy on this.
Oh yeah,
Frankenstein's
werewolf
monster.
is big. I say we do two. I say we take two of the ideas. So what are you thinking? Werewolf and the Mr. Hyde Invisible Man. I like the Franken werewolf and the Mr. Hyde Invisible Man mashup.
That would be interesting. I mean, but then drawing the Invisible Man would be interesting because I have technically done that with my my own like PD, Creature Commandos, the Legion of Mercenary Monsters. I drew my own Invisible Man, my own Frankenstein. I drew all those guys, but I actually like the idea of like merging two monsters into one.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the Frankenstein and the werewolf and the Jekyll and Hyde and the Invisible Man is a really interesting case because you have to try to create.
That makes it even scarier if he's that dude with no conscience and invisible and can get away with whatever he wants. That's scary. I like that.
That is. But personally, I'm thinking more of the werewolf Frankenstein. Like I can definitely see like maybe Frankenstein's monster ends up being, or like Dr. Frankenstein ends up taking a guy who happens to be cursed with lycanthropy or some variation of being a werewolf,
or piecing together a bunch of werewolves into one.
But then
okay, I'll let you have that one, and I'll do the other one. I'll do the Invisible.
Okay. So I think so. What about you, TS? What is it that you got going on over there?
I'm gonna draw a werewolf. Whatever you pick. I don't work as fast as you guys, so I have to pick one and start going. Because it takes me forever. I'm the writer guy, okay? I just happened to be on here because I was supposed to fill in for E, and then he magically shows up. So I'm going to do my best here. Please don't laugh at me when it's done, or if you do, at least do it off the mic so I don't cry.
It's okay. We're all crying inside, or at least I know I am. Anyways, jokes aside.
Yes, we were joking.
Totally. But what's it called? Okay, so we at least have the idea of the monsters being matched up. Now the question is, where's the setting located? Where is this all located? Where is this at? Because I've heard cyberpunk and then there's noir. We could merge the two again, doing a cyberpunk noir story, or we can just have this flat out like in 1930s America, deep into the grungy city, or it will be more into a cybernetic society. I mean, this could also tie into our like American Eagle, like cyberpunk like universe.
See, that's the thing. It would be a neat character to add into that cyberpunk world. So I'm thinking like noir vibes in that cyberpunk world, like that's what I'm thinking because frankly, I want to see these characters come up against the American Eagle and Medusa and everything else that we've put over there.
Especially the two sisters that I have yet to draw a cover for.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really neat. Let's see, have Hyde hunt Frankenstein monster, 1930s New York. Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good one.
Neo-noir. There you go. There we go. Jordan's nailed it. Neo-noir. That's what we need.
Noir Vibes is my new band name, just so you know. Nobody take it.
Duly noted. Okay, then. So I guess we're going to do another cyberpunk. Honestly, okay, so far, officially here we have two complete universes that have a good chunk of characters in it. We have the steampunk universe that has 2 different aliens, and then 2 people that happen to be given strength, and that is the fiance calling me because of housing reasons. So I will be put on mute, and we'll go from there and do the doodlings.
That's fine, man. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, I can yap enough for the both of us. So I am going to tell you, Fish, that I'm really offended that you have an acclaimed author on here with a new series come out, and we're not just drawing all of my characters.
Yeah,
I think that my agent had some sort of mix up when you made the call. I really thought that that's
you're 100% right. We should just be drawing the digger, and you know, and
you're going to hear from my people. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, I know. I absolutely. I don't have a defense in that, and I will just be pleading guilty, and I will pay the $50 fine.
Which we can definitely all afford, right? You have $50 to throw around.
Yeah, I'm just rich like that. I got an extra $50 to.
I'm glad that you finally admit it, because you're always texting me, like, oh man, times are hard. We'll see what we can do. And I know that your money bag's over there. Your set is literally glowing green.
Yeah, it's from all the cash. That's what it is. It's the sunlight glowing off of all the greenbacks in my wallet. It's just glowing from that.
I'm definitely going to do the 1930s aesthetic thing, chat. Thank you so much for that, because complete non sequitur, my comic book, The Digger, is set in 1930s Veracruz, Mexico, setting a young guide versus a dangerous Indiana Jones treasure hunter type. So if that sounds interesting to you, please go and check that out at your local comic book shop. Tell them that TS sent you. They're going to go, no way. Who's TS? What are you talking about? I've never heard of this book. But then you can explain it to them.
I lost my pen.
You're such a good artist, Fish. You lost your pen? That's the one thing you can't afford to lose.
My digital pen, too.
Oh, man. It's tethered to your screen, Fish. Okay.
No, I mean, like, the pen in the computer is gone. I don't know what happened, but it is gone.
Amateur hour over here, man. I'm going to have to talk to people.
I'm going to have to recreate it real quick.
You actually, you lost one of the ones that you made? Like, it's not on clip anymore?
I don't know what happened. That is weird. I've had it happen before, like if I create a new brush and then my computer shuts down or something, and I forgot I didn't close out of Clip Studio, it won't save it properly, and then it won't be there when I come back in. But a lot of my pens are gone, so something reset weird, and I don't know what happened to them, but I'm going to have to figure that out at a later date, because right now...
I think now's the time, actually. Let's get Clip Studio's department on there, like their IT, and see if we can figure this out. We'll get you on the support line. What else are we going to do live? It's not like people are watching this, right? Oh, no. Wait. Oh, no. Apparently, we're live. This is...
Apparently, there's people all up in the comments.
Apparently, you have lots of fans. This is something that I'm not used to. I don't have any. So this is fascinating.
Oh, that's a good idea, Shepard. Oh, see, I like that idea. I like that idea of using Dr. Jekyll's eye to hunt the monsters and satisfy that killer need.
Yeah, I dig that.
Using him as a tool like that. I love that. I love that idea. The monsters I've been writing recently is a type of fae who makes bargains with people, only always twists the words of his bargains and always something horrendous. Like if someone wants a new look, he takes their skin and gives them someone else's.
Oh, man. Yeah, very...
Sounds like something the cobbler would do in Alice Lost in Wonderland.
Exactly. I love that.
Hyde hunted and killed the Invisible Man and took his invisible serum as his own. Oh, that's grosser. Oh, man. I'm loving it. And became the Invisible Hyde. I'm telling you, man, that's a cool idea. I'm digging it. I am digging it. I think that will do. You back, man? Maybe he can't hear me.
He's not fully back yet.
Not hearing you. Boy, it's quiet without him talking.
I know. Again, like this is part of the problem, right? It's the art stream. I'm trying to draw here.
I'm trying to figure out housing crap right now in the middle of this entire stream, and I'm trying not to go clinically insane because, you know, housing in 2025. Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, everybody. I'm gonna have to.
It's really easy to get into, you know.
Yeah, it's easy. So you
manage.
take a gun,
cheap.
you put a bullet in it, and then I go right over here, and it's done.
No.
It's stressful, but you're gonna make it. It's gonna.
You got this, buddy. It's gonna work out.
Yeah, it's like I'm always saying, like, God misses a lot of opportunities to be early, but he's never too late. Sometimes I'm like, man, I sure wish he would just drop off somebody with a couple of grand right now, let them drop it off and walk away.
Right.
And then, like, I just lost a job the other day that I was really looking forward to with a writer that I really respect and look up to. And then just out of the blue that fell through, and I was like, oh man, I was pretty crestfallen about that. And then just today somebody hit me up and was like, hey, I'm looking at doing a book around that same time that's going to be going through a big publisher that's resurging, and would you be interested in doing it? Like, as a matter of fact, I would.
I sure would.
I'd be a lot more interested if it was happening like tomorrow, but next month's fine. That'll work out nonetheless.
Sorry about that, everybody.
I'm offended, but I'll get over it.
I'm always offended.
Apparently, Gold Key is making a comeback.
Gold Key Comics?
Yeah.
I've pitched there before. They were
yeah?
really, really kind. Yeah. They gave me some good feedback, too.
Awesome.
Lucky 33 also had looked into doing some stuff back with them. So that's cool they're coming back. They haven't been gone that long.
Well, I mean, like from the good old days, it was a while. But
right. That's completely fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't even know they'd been back for a minute. That's really cool.
I list them a lot because there's only so many publishers if you're trying to break into comic books that actually take open submissions, and they were one for a long time that did when a lot of people were kind of going away from that trend. And you still have like trouble dealing with that if you want to break into indie comic books or comic books in general. Most places that you've heard of don't take open submissions. Like you're not getting your first series at Boom Studios unless they've heard of you. They have no open submissions process. That's not how it works. Same thing with like something like Oni, if you like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't blame them because now with the internet and everything, like it's not even like limited to the people that can afford to send in a pack of submission, pages and whatnot. Like that was the thing that really limited me back in the day was like I went from sending out like 60, 70 packages a month to every editor I could find an address for down to a handful and then down to none when it came time to do it on my own dime and not have my mom's postage machine to do postage for.
Exactly.
Being a young man, that money for each one of those things was just too much to afford at the time. And now you can just click an email and send your stuff, and there's so many people out there trying, and which is awesome that anybody can do it, but then there's also like nothing stopping anybody from doing it.
That means anybody can do it. So always remember that there's a lot of competition, but not all of it is on equal playing fields. Like I get the awesome chance to work with professional artists like Fish, like Esteban, and some people that pitch right alongside of me are drawing it themselves, and they've never drawn something before, which is totally reasonable. Not quite something a publisher is looking for, and they get sent to the same email inbox, and they. I talk to a lot of really awesome editors. They read most of the stuff that they get. So that means if the email is public, they're getting a lot of emails from a lot of pitches. And they they have to go through all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a lot. I can only imagine the swamp of emails they get with the open submission.
Oh,
Um, let's see. Oh, we're way behind on the comments here. Uh, Commander Comics says, "How about Mr. Hyde created the Body Snatcher so he can try his own village of monsters to terrorize the streets of his city?" Oh, that's crazy.
love it.
Make Hyde look like a crazed, strung out John Cena. Yeah, it said it's more cheaper to buy an RV than a house. Oh, don't even get me started. Esteban, when is the next video coming out? I love the Creature Commando one, but when's the next? Is it in the works? Says Doggone Comics.
It's definitely work in progress. I've been really trying my best to get back onto that, but again, I mean, this weekend we just went to Orlando, which where I'm currently living at right now, it's about a 3-hour drive. So we ended up going up there. We were looking at apartments and how to get back down. So I knew I wasn't going to be making any videos at some point in time, but I should have one out on by this Friday, which is going to be a Roll for Hero recap for the last characters that we drew, which were the Bird sisters essentially, that one's going to be a lot of fun. But honestly, I think I might go back to doing a few like old topics and stuff like that. Like probably doing some, like instead of making like Marvel and DC knockoff kind of characters with the public domain, I'll actually just kind of go at it and redesign just generic public domain characters, just make them either updated, modern, whatever. And then I have an idea in the works where like, think of like me redesigning all the characters as like a canon mainline Marvel universe or like the mainline DC universe. Just very simple. Heroes are just heroes. Nothing too crazy. They're either dark, light, but not too crazy. Then I had the idea of doing the absolute concept where I'm going to call it the unit verse, like the absolute unit or whatever. And that's where you get to see the more darker renditions or, doing something that would, like in the absolute universe, you take something away from them that changes them and makes them entirely different. So then you actually have something to compare to, which is the regular hero and then the more darker rendition of it. That's like, a serious concept there. And then, of course, I'm going to do some videos touching on, the Unbeatables, finally getting to talk about the characters. I did a video already talking about Emerald Turtle, but obviously I want to do one talking about my Speedster, Boost, my other insect-based hero, Honeybee. I got a character called Blue Angel. Rocket Fist is, again, one of my favorite characters by far. And, of course, one that, was an amazing collaborative effort between Fish and I. And getting to talk about some other things. So there's a lot of videos in the works. The ideas are there. It's just the execution and the timing of it is just where I really got to focus on. Again, just right now, there's the stresses of trying to find a place to live and trying to get, married early. And there's just a lot happening. So I'm in a really stressful spot at the moment. So videos are, if I can make a video, then it'll be great. If not, then just understand I am putting my best efforts out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got his plate full right now, and we all know what it was like back in the day, and it's a different day today. I'm here to tell you, man, that I was just talking today with my son, and he's like, man, having to go through all of this stuff is one thing, but having to go through it at one of the toughest times in history is a whole nother thing. He's like, figuring any of this out would have been easier 5 years ago or 10 years ago than it is right now. And he ain't lying. And it's a whole different beast now than it used to be. And everything's changing. And he's like a young artist. And, if this was 10 years ago, I'd be telling him, man, forget the idea of college, man. I can put you to work right now doing pages for people.
Right.
But in a world where, jobs for artists might be drying up really quick, that's a tough thing to ask him to do. Like, I just lost a big job to a corporation to AI.
Right.
And that's a shame. That was going to be a big paycheck.
I talk to a lot of pros that get to work for bigger publishers on a normal basis, and they're still like, cramming to look for jobs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we have people who have worked in the industry for decades going, okay, I got to try to hustle to find my next gig. What does that mean for people trying to break in? It's difficult, man.
Yeah. I've usually got like a list of people waiting to get stuff done, and I'm picking which jobs I'm going to take on and which ones I'm going to have to say no to. And
Mhm.
right now I'm like, oh, I wonder who I can call up about that next gig. But everybody's money's tight and everything, and it's a whole different
Go.
thing.
There we are. So at least I'm trying to go for like a strange like like merging of different kinds of werewolves, or maybe maybe the Dr. Frankenstein in this twisted universe found a lot of people that suffered through lycanthropy and
Mhm.
decided to try to create the ultimate bodyguard for himself, not realizing he created just as much of a horrific monster than his first creation.
I
I'm
dig
drawing a werewolf.
it.
I'm gonna add some Franken details to him afterwards, and then I will make up something very cheeky to say, yeah, look, I wrote the story for him. Um, it takes me so much concentration to draw. There's a reason why I'm a professional writer and not a professional artist. I do cover work sometimes, and you're gonna see this drawing and go, "Oh, this guy gets cover work." Uh,
Listen, man, if the creator of Dogman can become one of the world's greatest selling authors and illustrators and stuff like that, there is no excuses. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because obviously, you've seen the style of Dogman and the Captain Underpants books. Those books have a very tongue-in-cheek, very childish style, because obviously it's supposed to be from the perspective of the kids. But that's what makes it interesting. And again, those are some of the highest selling books by far.
right.
So if he can make it, so can you.
The thing is, like, I do have some artist chops. It all comes from a lot of time sitting in front of the page. Like, I did a variant cover for Tokyo Fire, partly. That's what got me all of my paying artist gigs. And that took me about a month to create. And that's just one single page. The fact that you guys do these so fast and they look so incredible, I'm always so envious of and impressed by. And so I laugh sometimes when people compare the two. I'm like, that's I have a different set of skills.
That's how we hold on. I got another call.
Yeah, I was really impressed when we were at that con together in Michigan. I was really impressed with your work because I'd only seen a little bit of it up until then, but like that Spider-Man print you did was really cool.
Thank you, man. I mean, that's like my Scotty Young knockoff styles that I like to call it. We have Scotty Young at home, that like cartoony type bit. I can recreate that somewhat fast, and you just reminded me that I can draw like that. That's how I should have drawn this werewolf. But it's too late now. Damage is done.
That's the way it goes, man.
uh,
Hindsight's 2020.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as I was talking to myself, washing my hands earlier today. And I don't know, I was talking with some imaginary publisher in my head that I've never met before, as you do. And I was talking about how good I would be at doing like a licensed book because my style has gotten more and more like cartoony ish over the years and less trying to be as realistic as possible,
Right.
but a little more cartoony, and it'd be a lot easier to try and hit some of those licensed stylized, like, oh, I remember what what got me down that line of thought. I was thinking I was thinking about how everybody thinks they're good enough to work at Marvel and most of them can't see the quality of their own work. And I was like, honestly, compared to most of the people that work at like Marvel now, I don't think I fit very well. If it came to like the adaptation of the Spider-Man cartoon or something, I think I would probably fit in there just fine. But compared to the wow stuff that you see in some of these new books, I don't I know where I am. I'm solid, I'm good. I tell a good story. You can tell what's going on from panel to panel, but nobody's just going to sit there and be like, wow, I want to blow up this page and stick it on my wall and let's license this on 1,000 t-shirts. And that hasn't happened yet. Occasionally I'll strike gold with a really cool cover or something, but that's as much magic as it is skill. And but I'm solid. I do solid work. Just, I know where I stand. And I'm not blind to where I am and where my skills lie and what I'm good at. And,
I think that you're awesome, and I think that you could get way more publisher work. The problem is the fish is a busy man. He's doing too much stuff. You got to have a lot of free time to get some of those publishing deals. And because it doesn't just start with, okay, now have the book done on Monday. There's pitching, there's so much stuff in between that half the battle is getting the job,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like I was just talking with a writer friend that I just finished a cover for, and like I said, he was the one that mentioned potentially doing this new job for, and he was talking about his agent reached out to this publisher and they're interested and they're wanting to start looking for artists, and he was wondering if he could put my name in the ring, and I was like, yeah, man, absolutely, I'd love to work on a project with you. And I was like, and that agent's where it's at. That's what I need to get. I need to have somebody out there looking for jobs for me and taking a cut of it so I can just focus on making books and not have to keep killing myself trying to do it all at one time.
The problem that you're going to run into, Fish, is the same problem that we have when it comes to like some of the stuff that we've tried to pitch together, is that you have to survive. You're not a working artist in the way that you're making millions off your art yet. So for us to break in that way, to get an agent, to get that business, you need to be able to set time aside. And you don't have that, man. Like you're a working artist right now.
Yeah. Like I've got to get pages out so that I can make money so that I can pay the mortgage.
Exactly. And like we talked about, like we have a series right now that we're trying to pitch to places, and it needs to be finished coloring and flatted and stuff. And it's like, with what time? Because you still have to put out Alice, because that's how you pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just, sadly, that's
and
how that goes.
It's such a beautiful book too. That's what's killing me.
I know
that it's just sitting there because it's so beautiful. And I need to find a way to carve out the time to just sit down and grind. And the thing is, I know once I sit down and start coloring it, it's probably going to take like 3 days tops.
Right.
But it's just finding the time to carve out to do it that doesn't feel like you make me feel guilty that I'm not doing another project.
You're not doing something else.
I mean, I felt bad taking the weekend off of Alice to catch up on some stuff, but I had promised people that I'd have these covers out in time for their launches and their Kickstarters and whatnot. And now time's running down and they need them done. So I had to stop and get them done.
Right.
But the whole time I feel guilty that I wasn't finishing Alice because those backers are waiting on that book too. But damn linear timeline, man, I'm telling you.
It's just sadly, it's how it goes, man. And like, because I've had a couple of publishers going, hey, what are you going to do after the Digger? Like, we're interested. And, I always bring up Fish because I love working with Fish, and he lets me write Alice Lost in Wonderland for him.
Which you guys can pick up over at GoMrFish.com.
Do it, and you can still pick up issue 3, I believe, right? And you locked that in yet? So
yeah, it's still available for late pledges now. Until I ship out the books, it's going to be available for late pledges. I just cracked $4,000 the other day, which was the first time I've hit that milestone on one of my personal Kickstarters on my own page, which was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
I hit it with late pledges. That's Stephanie Phillips that writes Harley Quinn and all that stuff. Put me over the top.
Stephanie is awesome. She finally followed me the other day. I've been bothering her about reading some of my stuff for a long time. And the reason why she did it was because we were talking about indie comic books on TikTok, and she's a big proponent of that. That's where she got her start, and she talks about it all the time. Like, that's the only way to break into the industry. So if you love comic books, supporting indie comics is such a good way to do it. And it's hard for us to even finish the series, let alone pitch our next one. And that's what comes up all the time, like talking about doing another project. I've had publishers ask me about working with Fish, and I'm like, well, we gotta get him to survive before he can start working on another book. Like, there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah. That's
And that is why I do webtoons. Which you guys should totally go check out. The Unbeatables. Currently updates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's only one page per, it's 3 pages every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm actually close to finishing page 28 thus far. Again, it's a slow progressional thing, but I am very happy with at least getting some type of consistency out of that. But the goal is to obviously have it as a printed form again. But yeah, that's at least where I'm at. At least I'll have it out there. And if you guys want to go check it out, please do. It does help me out by a metric ton. And if you guys really want to see stuff like this, become printed, books and whatnot, just, again, you really got to support your indie comic creators. Again, like T.S. Luther and Mr. Fish. You guys go totally check out their works because it is definitely worth your time, effort, and money.
Heck yeah, I'd really appreciate it. Like, you can get all of my stuff now at shops. If you go to your local comic book shop, you can pre-order the Digger. Just tell them that you're interested. But I sell stuff on TikTok, like these dudes. I have stuff on Webtoon. I have stuff in all the places where you get indie comics, and it's such a battle trying to point them to a certain spot because we all are doing 400 different books.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I remember a day when old TS had more free time to help me out with stuff, but he's getting so busy doing everything now with all these other people and all these other publishers. He's getting too big for the britches these days. That's what they say on the street. But
I'm so sorry. You're just a little fish, and I'm a big whale now, And I always have time to write stuff for people. That's why I tell people all the time. It's like, I can write something for you. It's the other stuff. Like, I used to have a somewhat lucrative editing career, and I hated it. I hate editing stuff. I edit stuff for Fish because I love Fish. I edit stuff for other people because it pays. And I've started to be able to pull that back a little bit because I'm getting more writing gigs. And I will never go back to it. I don't want to do that. And I'm thankful that I've been able to do more writing stuff because that's where it's at. That's where I love to do.
I was going to say, when I was talking with that writer today and we were talking about agents and whatnot, I was like, if TS wanted a side gig, he'd be really good at that. But then I was like, but TS doesn't want another side gig. TS wants to be writing. And I don't want to get in the way of that.
I mean, I don't know if I would be a good agent. I don't know many people. I think the power of so many agents is like they have the ins. They know who to be reaching out to. If I knew who to reach out to, I wouldn't be on this podcast. Let me tell you.
This is true. When we hanging out with a 20-something-year-old and a man of
you just hush him out over.
Yeah, listen, we don't talk about Fish's age because if you mention it too much, the painting that he keeps in the attic is going to actually explode and reveal how old he really is.
I remember that reference.
Listen, if you had to go to school...
You remember it. I was there when it was written.
Dang.
Remember, this is the young version of Fish. This is not even close.
This is the... I waited too long to make my immortality deal. That's the problem. That's where you don't want to do it too early because you don't want to be like 15 for eternity. Like that doesn't work out. But you want to hit a sweet spot. 50's probably not it. Like, my joints have been aching for the last 300 years. I mean, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Right. Yes, obviously. And then, just, once you make a holy pact with a celestial being, then that's a whole different ballgame and then some, at least on my end of things. There's a reason why.
Do you have the number for that, specific deity? Do you have some sort of
yeah, so his hotline 777-777-7777 and
because I'd be willing to sell some
really
of this
because of my pastoral lineage, if you will.
Yeah, you went with the clerical background. See, I went half elf rogue, and that was a mistake because apparently those skills are just not appreciated in modern times.
Yeah.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
problem.
100%. Especially in France, you really got to be careful, because pickpocketers be pickpocketing too much. Next thing you know, an American pops in, being like, "Heck nah."
Yeah, you don't want to steal anything from an American. We have too much to lose. That's
Literally. And I mean, too much to gain, too much to lose, a little bit of everything all the time.
yeah, we take it personal because it is.
Yeah, and most of us are packing, so that's the thing that really creeps me out. I mean, like, I was always a big proponent of like the right to bear arms as a concept. I wanted to be able to like own a gun if I wanted to and whatnot. But then the more people I met, the more I realized there's a whole lot of people out there that are really just looking for an opportunity to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
They really just want the chance to kill someone.
See, I always wanted llama arms. The bear arms never really interest me.
Yeah, true.
But it's the big padded toes. That's what I'm after.
I'm telling you, it gets cold. I'm in Michigan. I mean,
oh yeah,
it gets frigid here.
During the summer, you could shave your arms and like make sweaters out of the fur. It'd be great, man.
I honestly, I wish I would have problems of that caliber, but I live in Florida, and the heat says, "Screw you! You're not going to be cold."
See, that's so your fault for living in Florida. You got to stop.
I mean, I was born and raised here, kind of like a New Yorker. I have like a sixth sense of not sixth sense, but a sick sense of like state pride, kind of like a New Yorker. They hate New York, but they're going to live and die in a kind of a situation. I love Florida, but also there are times where it kind of smacks me around in a really unfortunate relationship. So I mean, hey, tolerate it while you can.
Yeah.
I still stand by what I said. Just knock that off. Get out of there.
I'm kind of like,
I like my state. I like, even though it's a state pride thing.
Is basically saying you don't belong here. Go home. What do? They just eat the gators. That's fine.
You're not wrong. Try a gator tail. Not that bad. It was fried too. And that's not a joke. That is an actual statement.
Bye, doggone. Thanks for hanging out and listening to us barely yap at all because we're all drawing.
Yep. Yeah, and okay, so here's at least the progress I got so far on my werewolf Frankenstein hybrid over here.
Here, let's see if I can make you full screen. And well, I can make you full screen. Let me.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
All right.
Sorry about that.
Well, now we've got the. There we go. All right. Oh, I like it.
Trying to work with the asymmetry here of the. Again, did like the classic thing, but I like the bolted on, like a head shape thing and whatnot. Trying to show like how it's all drilled in together.
And like a bolted like collar is a cool idea.
Yeah, and then from there, like him actually being like a more, again, a homunculi of different werewolves and those that might turn into, I always think it'd be funny if there's different kinds of like, werewolves that actually turn into different dogs instead of like the typical wolf kind of a thing. So maybe there are some of these like werewolves to an extent that are all like hodgepodge together because this, like future rendition of Frankenstein's, the Dr. Frankenstein's just like, oh, this is where it's going to be all at. Time for me to create the canine unit of a lifetime. Just turns into a horrendous, even its human form, I can imagine would still be very disturbing. But again.
Yeah. Oh, and then you think that's got to transform into like 10 different people parts. Oh, that's messed up on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. I remember as a kid I always loved drawing monsters. I mean, every kid always loved drawing monsters.
Oh yeah.
Speak for yourself. It was all rainbows for me.
Oh man.
Oh, rainbows and or unicorns.
That's right.
True. There we go.
I can honestly say I don't think I ever drew a unicorn as a kid because I didn't want to have to draw a horse.
Weirdly enough, I always wanted to draw a unicorn. But then the closest thing I've ever drawn to that was a centaur with a unicorn horn. So I got my priorities mixed there.
That's wild. I ended up doing a short story with a unicorn in it in a book. A friend of mine, an anthology. A friend who was local here, but he's not anymore. He's moved away and started doing bigger things. But I used to see him at the Arkansas cons all the time, and anyway, he was doing this horror anthology of stories and hit me up to do one, and I ended up doing one with the unicorn, and it was really gory.
Wasn't it like a vampire unicorn, if you don't mind me asking?
No, it was like two men from a company end up going down to like the Amazon or something, to this logging place where they were doing all this deforestation, and all the loggers are gone, and they're taking pictures of the site, and there's like some blood, and there's like some torn up trees and stuff around, and they're documenting the site and the bodies and stuff that are left over. And then for some reason one of them goes running off through the woods and the other guy's chasing after him, and they end up coming across this unicorn up on this hill looking all majestic, and they start taking pictures of it because it's so beautiful. And as soon as it hears the click, it comes after them, and then you realize it's the thing that killed all the men at the logging camp, because traditionally they're monsters. They're not like beautiful things. They're known for like killing people.
There's a new movie about that right now too.
Yeah, I think it was done by Is it done by A24? I don't know.
It's one of those indie houses with Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and what's her face, Jenna Ortega,
Yep.
or I don't know how to say her name properly.
You nailed it.
Nice. All right, and then of course we got to do the typical bolt on the thing over here. It's like my favorite aspect of drawing Frankenstein's monster is doing the bolts, again, to show off all the electrical concept, or like again to show like
my
garage nature of it.
Cyborg, because it's more fun. Now, of course, Katie used to draw tons of unicorns because she can draw photorealistic horses, and will sit there and nitpick that your horse like switched breeds from one panel to the next, different reference photo, and notice things I would never notice about a horse. But
the funny thing is that I live in the equestrian center of Florida to an extent, because
you can't just make up words, E. Like, yeah, that's
you
not
know
how
what?
that works.
You're right. I can't. But you know what? This is America. I can. Anyways. But no, but like genuinely, I live off, and there's like nothing but horse ranches. I remember I actually did a gig like cleaning one out, like a whole like horse pen and whatnot, and they're just seeing all of these horses, just huge, like buffed out, creatures, and all for the sake of polo. Like, brother, that I didn't realize how violent polo really is. That is a violent game. Like, people get hurt in that, not just by the horses, like also from the clubs that they're using to hit the ball with. Just it's insanity. It's a brutal game.
All right.
And also during the winter season, we have, because I work at a gas station, so a lot of the equestrian people, a lot of the horse people start making their way on over. I'm like, poor people. Anyways, like those poor people. Man,
you can't be making fun of poor people, man.
Yeah,
I'm poor. I can make fun of them.
Oh man!
And trust me, those people are anything but poor. Those people are very, very wealthy. Affording a horse in this economy
must be nice.
I guess. I don't know. Too much. Anyways, and there we go. Did my homunculi of a werewolf Frankenstein.
Oops.
Obviously, this is probably not my best work, but that's fine.
I missed
my
my
shot. You'll be able to compare it to mine. So
that was my nickname in high school joke when he said that.
It's never too late.
Almost forgot the little bolts on the chest. Probably got to give it a touch of some cyberpunk edge to it, if this is still a cyberpunk setting.
Dragon Gaming says all your designs look absolutely awesome.
Thank you kindly, Dragon.
Aria Shepherd says, Uncle E, what are you thinking for colors?
That is actually a very good question because I would usually go straight for like the greens because that's the first thing I think about with Frankenstein's monsters, just always going for greens. But because it's a werewolf, I would have to probably do different fur colors just because of the sheer amount of, couldn't tell that was a pun or not. With the sheer amount of different colors or the different types of wolf or animal
Dog
adjacent.
or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be my thought. I would probably do some different versions of brown, maybe like a grayed out blue or something.
Yeah,
and
I'm
make it a
probably thinking something
patchwork
like
of
that as
different
well.
canine
Also, real
colors.
quick, Mr. Fish, got to ask you this. What episode of Roll for Hero is this? What is it, like 10, 11?
Yeah, I believe this is 10. I would have to go back and count the episodes, but I saved this file as number 10 because of all the other ones I had saved, so I think it's 10. I think. I could be wrong.
We are getting so close, everybody.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
getting close to the end of the first season.
Season 1 of Roll for Hero. Think about it. How crazy
Which
is that?
doesn't mean all that much because we're going to just keep going, but
Obviously, we got to keep going with some more fun originality to it and probably keep building up the worlds because at this point, we got steampunk, we got cyberpunk, and now I got to figure out, the ones that are either in between or those that keep being shoved into those two.
mm-hmm.
Who knows? We could probably get TES to just write every aspect of these worlds and, get to...
He's not busy writing other stuff. No.
I mean...
the deal that I will make with you is the same thing that I make with everybody. If it's actually going to get finished, if it's actually going to come out, then I will write whatever you need.
Right, the best deal I got is doing one page every day on Webtoons. It's the best I can do.
Yeah, I was on a series with you, I think, for Lucky 33. Where did that end up? Was that still something that you were going to work on, or?
The pages
haven't
are
heard
there.
much more about that one.
The pages are there. I still have the script and everything, so I really just had to get back onto that again. But again, it's just a whole back and forth process, and I don't know what's going to happen after issue 1 because he did do the writing, or like him and his team did the writing for episode 1 of the Galactic Delivery Dudes. There we go. And I feel like the rest I could kind of take it from there. But obviously, if he wants to, I mean, again, I don't want to keep having to drag him along all that, especially since I haven't touched that in a while. So, but I mean, knowing him, he would love to work on that again. But I obviously want to respect his time and his effort. So, because I would want him to focus on his other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to continue Galactic Delivery Dudes. That was an idea that I had for quite some time.
That wasn't even the one I was talking about. How many projects you got going on? I was talking about The Face, which is a script that I sold to Lucky 33.
That's right. Oh my gosh, yes. Weirdly enough, hold up, I can show it off here a little bit. But I only had a character design down for it, and you are not.
Oh, I got you. That was more of in the infancy.
So we got this part right over here, and then I at least had this portion of that, and then I know I had some concept art here. Where are you? Where is the concept art be? Where could it be? That's is it over here? No, that's mini comics. Nope. Is it here? Nope, not there. Somewhere here in the yeah, but
I had signed on to that project because I was excited to work with you. Originally, the artist was Artie Murphy, who does a bunch of other stuff, and ended up having to leave the project. And so we had thrown out your name, but I wasn't sure where that had landed. That was the last that I was consulted. I just sold the script.
Right. Okay. Well, man, trust me. You know me. I always try to hop on the opportunity. That's why I always say yes, because I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance again like this. That's why I always tend to straight shoot for it, which I know could ultimately be my downfall because I cannot really keep up with promises. So I'm really sorry about that for not keeping up.
Oh, that's all good, man.
But you know me, I always love hopping on opportunities and getting to, I would love to work with you guys, obviously, on a more professional level, or as professional as I can get being, in the position that I'm in life. But it's always awesome, getting to see like how scripts are always properly written out. Because for me, I kind of did the whole gung ho approach. It's evident in my first 2 books that I have on Webtoons right now. So issues 1 and 2 of the Unbeatables. I was gonna say the Invincibles, but of the Unbeatables currently, out there, and it was more like a go with the flow kind of a thing, and I had no idea what I was doing. So thankfully now I have a more proper, structure to it, and I do have some story beats that I actually want to hop onto, like touching on the ideas of corporate superheroes, or like getting to see what it's like, in this world, having to work for either a private company or having to interact with heroes that are either like true vigilantes, stuff of that nature. So that's stuff that I really want to like tap into, because obviously stuff of like My Hero Academia Vigilantes, those are some really awesome inspirational, stories that I very much enjoy, and I love to kind of tap into heroes of those kind of calibers, especially diving into some deeper stories, especially with characters like the Emerald Turtle and Boost and Blue Angel and all the other characters that I have in my Unbeatables universe.
For sure, man. And if you ever start being able to do more consistent stuff, always keep me in mind, man. I always got projects going on. I just pitched like 4 or 5 books to some cool publishers. I wouldn't say that they're all like stuff that people have heard of a ton, but I get the chance now. People at least open up my emails at publishers now, which was not a thing. Fish can attest. That was not a thing for a long time for me. There was a lot of, I don't know who this TS guy is. And now they have at least heard of me sometimes.
Or at least you can tell them enough stuff that you've done that they can be like, well, I may not have heard of him, but it's worth paying attention to.
Exactly. At least they can go and look at stuff now, which is pretty cool. Even just working with Fish alone, we're about to do issue 4 on Alice, which is crazy. A lot of indie books don't even make it that far,
Oh yeah. And I'm kicking myself now that I didn't heed your advice or know your advice earlier, because I was just thinking as I was going on the show last night, I was like, man, if I had just focused on the Alice story in the beginning, granted you wouldn't be working on it, which
right.
wouldn't make it as awesome as it is now.
Thanks,
but
man.
if I had just focused on that in the beginning, I could be 20 to 100 issues into my own story now.
Right.
And instead of a whole bunch of issues into a whole bunch of different stories. But,
Same.
You live and you learn. Sometimes it takes a little furry dude just yelling at you and beating over your head until it finally breaks through and you realize where you've been screwing up.
I mean, I don't know if screwing up is the right word, but for me, it's about getting enough to get to a trade. The fact that the Digger is 4 issues is because I can get to a trade easily enough, and then I can have stuff to show off to other publishers. It's also all that people would be willing to publish for me because I'm kind of an unknown guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting to that, and Alice is about to hit that trademark. We're about to do issue 4, but we plan on doing 6 issues for the trade, right?
Yeah.
So we're about there. And that's going to do a lot for your career, especially if you decide to go more the traditional publishing route, which you never really have done. So,
which I'm interested in doing. It's just, again, like you said, it comes down to the time. Really, a lot of the time, like the time it takes to pitch it to a publisher and all that stuff is time I could be knocking out another book and making money to live on.
That's the thing. Like, it's so much slower with the publisher. Like, I can speak freely with the Digger. Like, I have a really good deal with them. Like, I probably won't see a paycheck from that until at least 2027.
Yeah,
and that's a long time to not get paid for your work.
Which that was one of the things. Like, I got all excited talking to this dude about maybe working on his book, and then I was like, wait a second, what is the payment situation going to be? Because I was like, not trying to be rude, but if it's do the book now and hope we get paid in 2 years when it comes out, I can't afford that time. Like,
right.
I've got to take I've got to take a job soon that's going to help pay the mortgage.
And
Because the
that's why
mortgage
you
company
deal with
doesn't
me.
care how cool the opportunity is. They care if that money's in on time.
Exactly, and that's usually all that you can hope for in comics is maybe get paid sometimes, and that's why I tell people I'm always honest. Or I'm like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna try to get into comics, it's a big pay to play industry. You got to be prepared to not make anything, and that's not like oh, it'll never pay off. It totally could, but you got to be prepared for it not to in the current time. You
Mm-hmm.
got to have you got to have a day job. If you're trying to break in, most people won't even give you paying gigs for a long time. So you got to be able to take what you can get. It is still one of those industries, and I'm not a proponent of this. This is not me saying it's a good idea, but it's one of those industries where like you're gonna get paid in influence, that kind of crap.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is where it starts for most people, and that's hard. It's hard to pay your mortgage and influence, and you're not going to get a different kind of opportunity, sadly. Unless you're amazing and God's gift to comic books, which I am not, so I can't explain how that works.
See, that's my problem. If I was one of those artists that's like, oh my God, this page is just crazy. Like, I make cool pages. I make cool pages, and I've got some pages out there that are really nice. I'm really proud of. But, my stuff's good. But there's some people out there that are just like, God, that's amazing.
Right.
I mean, there's some dudes out there that just the lips they draw on some of these ladies just have my heart aching. They're so beautiful. I don't do that. I'm not that guy. And that's okay. There's room out there for the guys that hit deadlines and knock out books.
Exactly.
So I'm not hung up about it. But yeah. I'm also not the guy everybody's heard of because, they're so excited about the amazing lips that I draw.
When I think of that, Annie Wu is one of my favorites when it comes to the lips that she draws. One of my favorite artists, and because I'm a nerd, that's the kind of thing that I look at for comic books. I'm like, okay, how does this person draw lips? How does this person draw car tires? Like when I think about like who I'm going to pitch books and what kind and stuff, that's the kind of thing I look at. And there are just some people, like you said, that can just do that. Fiona Staples, it's like no one has ever drawn a face that expressive before.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that's why for so long I tried to do very realistic work because I don't know who the artist was and it kills me. But I saw this web comic I just stumbled across one day, and it was really beautiful and it was very, very realistic artwork. And there was this scene over 3 panels where you just watch this girl's heart break. And I don't even think there were any words in the panel, but it was absolutely beautiful and heartbreaking. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do pages that look that good. And so I started working harder and harder to try and get as realistic as I could manage to get and try and make my stuff, be able to show that emotion. But then I realized after a long time of chasing that rainbow that the difference between my heart is breaking and I am constipated is like such a small little variable in the eyebrows and the nostril. Like it's so small between, I'm confused and what the hell? And like, it's so hard to get it perfect when you're trying to get it realistic, and the littlest thing makes a big difference. But if you go cartoony a little bit and you can stretch that mouth a little bit further than normal and move it a little bit further across the face and maybe pull those eyebrows out a little bit further, it's suddenly a lot easier to hit the emotions that you really want to hit. And that is why I started going a little bit more that direction.
I like how expressive your characters are. I don't think that it's a matter of not being as detailed. I think that you just have a really, really stylized approach that also can hit deadlines. And that is so much more important than people think.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like coming from working in, the business of art my entire life, like I knew when it came time to what style am I going to try and start selling, as a comic book artist, it needed to be one that could hit deadlines because that is the most important thing when it comes down to it. And way too many creatives can't do that.
Yep.
They get lost in the sauce, trying to make something epic, and like a lot of times it needs to get done. That is, hitting a deadline is often one of the more important parts, and it gets missed so often. I was like, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy that gets it done on time. That's what I want to do.
And it is the type of thing that has gotten me consistent work, even just in the indie space. I see a lot of guys get mad at me because they're like, well, why are you getting published now when like I had a more successful book than you or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's because, man, I deliver, I take a lot of gigs and I make sure they get done on time. So I am known as somebody who will get you that script. And it works out, man.
Well, but I talked a big game and then got bored and walked away to a new idea.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's why.
And I'll be the first one to say, I'm not the best writer in the world. There are so many people in the industry at the exact same level as me that are better writers, and I will continuously get more work than them because I deliver it when it was asked for.
That was something that stood out to me. One of those life moments. I was watching an interview with Jay Leno when he was leaving the Tonight Show the first time, and they were as they were talking about his career, and he said he was at the show working late one night past dinner, and he turned on the TV to watch like the New York Knicks play a game or whatever, and in the front row was his competition in late night sitting there having fun at the game, and he realized at that moment, he was like, oh, I'm always going to work harder than the other guy. Like I'm always going to put in more effort and more time than the other people. And that was, he felt was always the key to his success. And that's part of why I grind so much. It's like, I'm going to knock out a sea of books that you cannot argue with that I don't hit deadlines and put stuff out.
Can I show off my art real quick? I do have to bounce, guys. I'm loving hanging out, but I have some stuff I got to get to. So let me share my other screen real quick.
Sorry about that, everybody. Just had to help my dad out with some international stuff because he's flying to Puerto Rico. And also, we have the fiance. The best part of the show officially came here.
Hi, fiance.
Hi,
fiance.
Let's see. Is that
Yeah, it's like a Frankenstein.
Close enough that people can see.
Matches.
Yeah.
The monster mash.
This is just a werewolf. This is just a werewolf about to go into a cave because I can't do as many awesome stuff as everybody else can.
Just a werewolf.
Just a werewolf. That's as close as you get. Werewolf by night style.
We always love a nice werewolf here.
Hey, man, I think it looks great, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you. If I had 2 more weeks with it, man, this would be such a good drawing.
Here, folks, we'll have T.S. Luther back on the show in 2 weeks. Finished werewolf.
That's right. I'll show out the rest of it. But thank you so much for having me. Please go and ask your local comic book shop for The Digger by T.S. Luther and Sam Gudelin, the amazing artist there, by Invader Comics. It's in the Lunar catalog. You can get it at any local comic book shop. Please go and do that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for having me. I love you guys, and I have to go be a dad now.
Absolutely, man. Go.
And honestly, I think it might be a pretty good time for us to start wrapping up a few things over here. So, Fish, let's see what you ended up creating thus far with your rendition of the Jekyll and Hyde and the Invisible Man.
Here we go. I I decided to take the route that was suggested in there a couple of times of like being like a government type experiment and using his Hyde killer persona to hunt down monsters and stuff in this invisible form. I decided to make him like a military guy that's part of this military experiment. And when he takes this serum, that maybe he created it, maybe it was taken from Dr. Jekyll and the Invisible Man and mixed together, and now turns him into this invisible killing machine. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I like the idea of like seeing his face start to transform and stuff as he starts to turn invisible, and having like a face mask and some bandages and stuff to be seen. It would probably make more sense if he just had sleeves, but the bandages are so iconic that I wanted to show him off. And I like the idea of him being a military style with that. The idea of a invisible commando is freaking terrifying.
And I think, funnily enough, Universal did use that concept a little bit, where it was more of an action-based situation where they took the Invisible Man and just made him a weapon of just fighting off the enemies and stuff like that. Then, of course, there's my rendition of my little take here on a Frankenstein-like, where maybe that Dr. Frankenstein was very crazy enough to figure out that there are people who can transform into wolf-like creatures, and he wanted to make one for himself. But he probably went to different packs and different groups and kind of took their corpses and created something far more disturbing. At first, it was a human, but when the moon pops out, boom, instantaneous transformation of this unfortunate hybrid of man, wolf, and everything else in between.
Man, there's so many cool possibilities and possible story ideas with that. Like my first thought is like, what would happen if you built a homunculus out of all these pieces of random people from around the world that you happen to have on hand, or access to or whatever, and cobbled together your man, but one of them was a werewolf and that part infected all the others, and they all like transformed into native canines of their land or whatever. There's so many cool ways you could take that idea. That's a cool design, man.
So this was actually a really fun bit, and okay, well, now we got the infinite screen. Now we just get rid of that now. But I think this was obviously a lot of fun. Sorry for popping in last minute. I know that was not as intentional and such, but I still had a blast putting all these awesome drawings together. I have to do some stuff in terms of procuring some IDs and all that other unfortunate adulting technical stuff. But we're going to end our show here, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Always remember to stick to these 3 simple rules to make sure to stay awesome, stay weird, and to keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope y'all have yourselves a fun and safe spooky season. But until then, both your uncles love you.
Roll for hero.
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts.